Good morning, everyone, and welcome to MicroChannel's Dynamics 365 virtual event for 2020. My name is Jeff Clark. I am the CX Strategy Officer at MicroChannel, and today I'll be joined by Nigel Bradley, our Service Delivery Manager, and Frankie Aston, a Senior Marketing Consultant here. So, kick on to the agenda. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about two main topic areas. One is Dynamics 365 Customer Insights, and the other is Dynamics 365 Marketing Automation. And really we're going to be exploring, how these two technologies come together and why they exist to drive customer experiences and revenue. Firstly, we're going to cover how do you create that single customer identity. It's been an elusive goal for many organizations for a number of years, and it's getting more and more challenging to do that. And that's really why we have customer data platforms today. So we're going to explain why it's so difficult to provide that view and to get that view, and then how Dynamics 365 Customer Insights allows you to bring in that data and to associate it to an individual customer and then action that. And then Nigel is going to jump into a live demo of Dynamics 365 Customer Insights, and you can see it in action. And then secondly, we'll get into how you actually take action with that information. Okay, so now we actually have an absolute, very rich profile of your customers that you can segment and target and drive a lot of automation with, and we'll start to dive into Dynamics 365 Marketing Automation, and how easy it is to use, that integration, but also look at how it works with events. It's got a very strong capability around events, and Frankie will be jumping in and doing a live demo of that as well. So today, thinking of the three things that I'd like you to sort of think about that you'll come away with will be, why customer data platforms, or CDPs as we call them, are really becoming the gold standard for achieving more sales, and that delivering that optimum customer experience. And then secondly, it's really about how you can bring all your data together to form that single view. And thirdly, it's how you can take meaningful action today. So let's jump into Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. Okay, so the real big issue that we have today when we think of our organizations, our businesses, is the number of ways a consumer or a B2B prospect can engage with our company is exponential. It's just continually growing. When we think about consumer marketing, it's on average 6 different touch points that consumers will engage with before they'll make a purchase with your company. For B2B buyers, the marketing funnel has become much longer and more complex. In fact, today we don't even call it a funnel, it's called a life cycle. And that life cycle can be very complex. The reason everything's more complex, as you know, is we are using more digital channels than ever before. So I wanted to quickly sort of highlight a B2B journey here from Gartner, and you can see here that there is a lot of activity as we move through problem identification, solution exploration, understanding requirements, and supplier selection. It's not a linear process. The process is moving all around the place. And think about it in the B2B buying journey, it's not just one person doing this, it's many people. So it's very complex. So as mentioned, we're doing more and more digitally. This is just giving you an example. We're virtually here today. We're checking out more reviews and ratings of solutions. We want to know those sources. We're checking out social media. We're doing searches. There's our own sites, websites, and so much more. So when you stop and think about it, there is so much that we engage in today. There's your traditional channels, SMS and email and websites and so forth. And then there's all the other channels. So in consumer marketing, it can be e-commerce and in-store and retail point of sales. Very complex for us to try to understand. And as I mentioned before, it's a very wide buying group to understand what's happening, what are the requirements and needs, and what actions we really need to take. And it becomes even more complex when we start thinking about all the content that we have to produce and track across all those different channels as well. And the output of all that is we have a lot of data to deal with, right? So we have all our structured data, but in the last 3 years, we've had a 90% increase in the amount of unstructured data. So structured data is the data that we can capture and organize, and unstructured data is coming from all these different sources that's not as predefined. So it's there, but we need to make sense of it, right? It's created by all these different channels and activities and behaviors. And so that rise in structured and semi-structured data creates a massive problem if we really want to be able to compete in market and to be able to properly target and personalize our experiences for our prospects and our customers to keep our customers as well. So it means there are trillions of buying signals everywhere. So the buying signals are what we need to understand to do something about it. When you think about it, it is that oh my God moment, and that is why a number of years ago the concept of customer data platforms was created. They've been around now for probably 4 or 5 years, and they were deliberately created to solve that problem of all that data, the unstructured and structured data, and make sense of it so that businesses can actually automate and personalize those experiences as we move forward. And the challenge is if you're not actually hearing those signals that we talked about, then you're missing out on the sale. You're missing out on the cues, the challenges that customers are really looking for. And there are a number of customers who are really pushing the boundaries about understanding, what's happening with their customers and their prospects, and they're getting amazing results through this process. So to sort of summarize what we're really talking about, we need some sort of way to bring all this data together and make sense of it related to a customer profile or a group of customers, an account if you're in B2B marketing, and then make it actionable. So the way Microsoft has been thinking about this is Microsoft is thinking about all those different behaviors and events occurring across your customer base, what your employees are generating and doing, all your products and offerings and services, all your operational data, which could be obviously around service delivery or other things, or and so forth, and then finding ways to try to unlock that data so that you can be more successful. And that's why Microsoft created Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. So Customer Insights is a customer data platform, can work with any technology stack that you've got today, but really this is really showing how it can bring together all that information across all your different parts of the business and make it valuable information to action. Finally, this slide just kind of shows on the left-hand side, you can see all the internal data that we're capturing, and then all the external data that we could bring in. And it's infinite in the amount of sources, as I mentioned before. And what Dynamics 365 does, through really simple standard connectors, it brings that data together and matches that against the customer record so that you can then further enrich it, do analytics, segmentation, and then make it actionable, right? Through whether or not you want to understand what's happening in your market, or you want to create a workflow or automation to drive that personalization through all the different channels and interactions that your business has with your customers today. So with that, the final piece to understand is it's just joining those dots so that a customer will have a consistent experience across all the way from being a lead right through to sales and back and forth. So it's not a linear journey, as I mentioned. The marketing know what the right cues are and what content should be served at the right time, and then when to pass it on to sales. And sales know the right things to be talking to the right person about at the right time, and what things would be helpful for them. And then, of course, customer service is if there's a support case or a contact center, the contact center knows exactly what's going on, and so does the rest of the business. If there's a challenge or an issue, they can see that and they can actually do something about it and have meaningful conversations and support your customers, which drives retention and obviously customer lifetime value, which is really what it's all about. Finally, we're just having a quick look at what customer insights looks like. We're going to dive into the demo in a second, but really the output is about finding those quick segments, building those quickly, and then actioning those. And here we can see just a couple of segments, high earning, health conscious shoppers as an example. And you can create whatever segments you like, because all the data from any source is in there and totally matched to a contact record. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Nigel. He's going to dive deeply into the product and give you an idea of exactly what it looks like and what's it all about. Over to you, Nigel.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, so it is really great to see how this technology can actually be taken and used, and bringing different pieces of disparate data together in ways that we haven't been able to do before. And you know, historically, if an organisation like our customers wanted to do this type of thing, we had to do integration with ERPs and CRMs, bringing ERP information into CRM in order for us to actually have that 360-degree view of that customer. And then being able to use that from a marketing automation perspective. But this platform really does enable us to have that middleware of being able to bring together disparate pieces of or databases or data sources, and bringing those together in order for us to gather that whole picture of our customer. So you can see in my screen here, I've got Customer Insights open, and very simple, I suppose, visualization, but on my home screen, I can see some of the segmentations that I have set up. But how do I do all of this? What is this actually giving me, and how do I actually, what does this actually mean? Well, in essence, the main thing that we're doing with Customer Insights is bringing together disparate pieces of data. And we do that by setting up our data sources. So you can see here, I'm bringing in to Customer Insights 3 or 4 data sources: my CRM, my transactional information from my ERP, a survey system, and also a ticketing system. So these could be any different type of system that your customer or your organization might use, whether they be Excel spreadsheets, whether they be any type of data sources, SQL databases. We can surface that information in Dynamics Customer Insights and allow us to then map that to each set of data to give us that picture. So taking our data sources, we can then start to look at what entities we are actually building within that, and have access to within that data set. But the key thing with this is when we start to unify data. And this is when we say, right, my customer from my CRM is my account in the ERP, and they're also the contact within the ticketing system. We can then start to map that together and to then match information so that we start to create that relationship with all of my different pieces of disparate information, and then start to bring that together. What does that then allow me to do? So I've got my matches, I've got my data sources, I'm starting to then see that. I can then take that and very simply, as Jeff indicated before, start to create some segmentation. So using my ERP data, I can then start to see mapped with my CRM data, customers with online purchases. I can then start to use my CRM data to look at customers with complaints. I can create any different type of segmentation based on any of the data points that I have within my data sources. As I drill into that, I can then see each of those segments, and I can then start to see who are the members within that particular record. So a very, very powerful tool for us to be able to drill into and see that dynamic data coming from disparate data sources. I suppose the key last thing there for us is within this tool, I can then start to see all of my unique customers. And this is the key for the whole of this product, is to be able to then see and bring together and start to see a complete picture of a particular customer, whether they be surfacing data from my CRM, mapping that to my ERP. I can now start to see the transactions that they've actually had, their total spend. I can start to create this dashboard that really gives us that picture of the customer, seeing where they've, what views they've had on our CRMs, what complaint tickets have we actually had. So never before have we been able to so simply be able to have across disparate data sources a complete view of our customers. This is when we can then start to, as Jeff indicated before, take those data sources, use that unification tool within Customer Insights, and we can then start to use that from an analytics perspective by using those segmentations and the data within Power BI or Microsoft Flow, that we can then send notifications to those customers, or even in Power Apps to be able to surface other information for other purposes. But the key thing in this is that we have actions. We have now got organized data with a strategy that we can use in other applications, and be more informed as to why we're actually doing that. So that is the real key as to why we use Customer Insights and what that can actually do for us. I'm going to hand over to Frankie, and she's going to talk more about Dynamics 365 marketing.
Thanks, Nigel. So as we've been talking about today, the real best way to take action is with Dynamics 365 marketing. So we're turning all of that customer insight and data intelligence into something that marketers can take and action immediately. The really great thing about Dynamics 365 marketing is that it lives together with Dynamics sales, 365 sales on the same platform. So you have the power of those two pieces of technology coming together to make marketing automation even more powerful for your business. This combination gives you event management, customer insight integration, and it connects to external communication services such as LinkedIn and any other AI-based capabilities to scale your business and take the best optimization for customer insights and turn them into sales. So this new approach to creating personalized buyer experiences through Dynamics 365 marketing really has 4 pillars to it. The best part of it is that the personalized insights brings together that data from nearly any source, including your Microsoft apps, any third-party apps, and you gain that personalized insight, as we've just been seeing with Nigel and Jeff. But then we take action by orchestrating customer journeys. So your marketers will be able to use extensive customer journey management capabilities through Dynamics 365 marketing to create long-term relationships and nurture those relationships. They can adjust the journeys and adjust the communications for your needs. We align marketing and sales with the same tools and processes to manage those leads. So you can actually achieve greater customer knowledge, have better communication both internally and externally, and increase your own efficiencies as a business. We also want to make this simple for you to make informed decisions. So you can take advantage of the greater data volumes that you already have at your fingertips and build insights provided by both AI and interaction data. And this helps you to grow your own operations. It's secure, it's tested, and it connects to all of your other Dynamics 365 apps like Sales or Customer Insights. So orchestrating customer journeys is the heart of Dynamics 365 marketing. You can engage at the right time with the right content and the right channel across your entire life cycle. I'm going to take you through a live demo soon, which will show you just how easy it is to bring that together. You can create content really quickly with marketing automation features, and you can have any kind of configurable template. You can reuse content blocks. There's a simple drag and drop design tool, and you can also access all of this from the power of one window. So your marketers don't have to move in and out of windows or put in clunky integrations so that they can actually get their marketing out to your customers sooner and with greater efficiencies, and then action what responses you get from your marketing audience and sales audience. You can target and personalize those messages. You can run personalized and multi-channel marketing campaigns from the same dashboard. The alignment of sales and marketing helps you reduce the costs. So you increase your efficiency and your organizational collaboration with Dynamics 365 sales. You can ID, target and close top accounts with personalized account-based content, track and prioritize leads across all touch points, and increase your own productivity. You can even collaborate through any of your Microsoft 365 tools, including shared calendars, teams, and have cross-team visibility into campaigns and leads. Dynamics 365 marketing is simple. It's pretty simple. You can utilize it in place. You can edit emails and forms. You can create customized emails faster, and you can create, manage, and monitor content-rich social media posts. Creating sophisticated multi-step campaigns might seem like a really hard task for your current organization, but with this environment, you will be able to have a canvas where you can manipulate and use the data that you have to create really enriched customer journeys and better at nurturing so that you have better outcomes for your customers as well as your own organization. One of the really powerful tools, which I'll also show you, is that you can even create negative journey paths within Dynamics 365 marketing, which enable the follow-up of events exclusively for recipients who didn't meet certain conditions. So for example, any of your recipients who didn't even open an email, you can now reach with the power of this environment. One of the really powerful parts of Dynamics 365 marketing is now the event management. Event management enables you to run and design events from end to end. So you can manage your registration, lead mapping, and your attendance. You can integrate your agenda and speaker manager from one dashboard and optimize communications and post-event follow-up through integrated marketing. With this end-to-end environment, you really have the best opportunity to action your business and create a much better customer engagement to the benefit of your own sales and your business growth. So I'm going to jump into the live demo. So when we come into the environment, we land on the marketing journey dashboard. So any of your marketers are going to land in the dashboards environment. And in this environment, you can see that they have access to any of the dashboards which they're linked to within your organization. Very simple setup to get that enabled. So we're going to stick here in the customer journey dashboard to have a look at how that action comes to life. And when we have a look at one of the campaigns, so we can see here that the customer journey comes to life here. This is a simple drag and drop environment. And so what we're seeing here is exactly what your marketing teams will see. You can set your audience. So this is where customer insights comes to life. So your segmentation is picked here. You already have segmentation aligned within your customer insight environment, and you can just pick that up and run with it. Then you build out your journeys however you want. So in this case, you have sent email, and the next action is wait a week. The really nice, powerful part about this is that not only do you have insights and social insights already here that you can jump into and have a look at how this is working for you, you can then export your reports from this environment. In addition, you can easily add any other options for action. So your marketers are able to strategize and work in both a tactical and long-term strategy way. So if something's not working within this environment, you can immediately come in and be quite reactive to this and then put in a new strategy or a new action. The other part of this is really great is that you can see the email environment from where you are. So I don't have to jump out anywhere from this environment. I can go immediately to the email and I can already see that the tools are here for me to use drag and drop. So if I wanted to, for example, if this image wasn't working for me, if I wanted to run a sale, for example, in this environment, then I could easily grab an image from the image library and change that out and then run that campaign again. So that, as it runs, is how you can immediately action any changes or any insights that you get from your ongoing customer data. So the next part that we'd like to look at is, so if we go over here, any of your marketing people will understand that this is a very intuitive environment. It is very much like any other marketing automation environment that they may have used in the past. And so navigating it and finding the next step to do is very easy. We're going to have a look at marketing emails. So for example, here is just all of your campaigns that you may be running at one single time. They could be running to 5 or 6 different segments. They could be running on automations, and if you have 2 or 3 people working in the same environment, one person could be working on managing one campaign while others are working on other campaigns. You can work on this environment together. So again, you can jump quite easily into an email here, and here you can see the same email that we just ran through and that same environment for drag and drop. If you want to see how that email has run, all of your insights are easily navigated to from the same environment. Let's see if I can pick my mouse properly. And we have the overview, delivery, links, interactions, open times, and any testing that you might be doing, which you can export easily into reports. We also have lead management. You can do all of your internet marketing. Marketing content is here, any templates down here on the side as well, and LinkedIn lead generation sits here. The other piece that I really wanted to show you today was the events. So when we're talking about running an event from inside Dynamics 365 Marketing, it can be anything from a workshop right through to a large conference. So if we have a look at a large conference, for example, you can see here that this is a very easy to run environment. It has any work that you may be doing in the lead up, your agenda, organization, and this is very easy for a team of people to be working on together. They can come in here, update where they're up to, set as active, and then we move to the next step. So marketer A might be working on preliminaries and marketer B might be taking up the agenda, so we can absolutely collaborate across teams. In here, you'll see that not only is there information around how that event is going to run, you can link into Microsoft Teams as a streaming channel. You can run all of your content for this event from the one panel. So your agenda sits in here, and you can see that the agenda runs on a Thursday and a Friday, and it runs through what's going on. Your website and form are set up in here and can be managed from here. All of your registration and attendance can also be managed within this. So you have all the types of tickets that you have and then the people who have registered. So if you wanted to see, you know, who has registered and then send your sales team a list, you can do so from this environment. Any additional information, you can then go on to organize, promote, launch, and then also do post-event management from this same dashboard. So just to wrap up, that was the Dynamics 365 marketing environment. And I just want to wrap up and make sure that today we have covered for you why CDPs are becoming the gold standard for achieving more sales and optimum customer experiences. We've shown you how to bring all of your data together for a single customer view, and we've shown you how to take meaningful action with the Dynamics 365 marketing environment. If you have any questions, we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So you may have already asked some questions, and we definitely have a few lined up. If you want to learn more, don't hesitate to contact your account manager. New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland, we have people working with the MicroChannel who are ready to speak to you about these opportunities or how we can help you in this opportunity. And if you're new to MicroChannel, please contact us at info@microchannel.com.au. And I'm going to hand over to Amanda for the Q&A.
Thank you, Frankie and Nigel and Jeff, for running us through Dynamics 365 marketing automation and customer insights. So now we're in Q&A, so please do put your questions in the question panel. Here's one, guys, on ease of use. So it's just asking how easy it is to use Dynamics 365 marketing compared to other marketing automation solutions. Want to take that one, yes. Frankie?
Yeah, so having worked in a range of marketing automation environments, it is highly intuitive. If you've worked in anything, for example, Marketo, or even you've used any other marketing environments that might be general to people, even MailChimp, it's a really easy environment to use. It's very intuitive. It's simplified, and everything comes out of one dashboard. So any marketer who has had an experience across a range of marketing environments would pick it up very easily.
Yeah, I think I'd just add to that I think the other thing is it's quite a logical layout, and if you're used to working in CRM or so forth, you can see the navigations, all the information is there without having to move off screen, which is typically a big challenge with most of these applications, and I think that's one of its biggest strengths.
I will just add there that the whole look, feel and functionality within the whole Dynamics suite, whether it be customer engagement, customer insights or marketing, is really geared towards end user configuration. So do I need an IT degree? No. Do I need to have my IT department do this for me? No. All of that customer insight, data setup, segmentation can all be done by end users. So very easy to use.
Great feedback, guys. Okay, next one, just how do you deploy the D365 solutions?
Yeah, so customer insights, I'll speak to that. As Nigel sort of covered, it's really, you can have any data source that you can speak of. There are custom connectors, so it makes it very, very simple and easy to bring that data in from those different sources. You do it once, set up the matching, and then it will continue to match as data is ingested. So that is a very, very straightforward process. It's very, very quick compared to doing the old traditional custom integrations, which can take a hell of a lot of time and effort, and they take a long time to maintain. So I think that's the other component. The output of that is what you want it to be. So I think the great thing about customer insights is you can then drive those experiences at scale. So, you set up those automations to occur, those workflows using Microsoft Flow or whatever you want. And really that allows you to be able to provide that experience and to have those insights when you need them. So it's actually quite a simple process to deploy customer insights. And I'd say the same with marketing as well. It comes down, if you've got data, you're always starting at a base. So you're working with what data you've got, and then it's just building on that. So it's data and it's content and it's assets. So
in terms of the actual deployment, how do we get it up and running? All of this lives within the Microsoft Dynamics stack and environment. So if you've got access to customer engagement, CRM, or one of the ERPs, you will end up, or even having your own Office 365 account, it just appears in there as a license that you then can start to consume. So as long as you bought the license for those particular parts, it just appears in your Office 365 account.
Thanks, guys. Next question is around accessibility for leads across the funnel. So specifically, are you able to map your leads in different regions how you want to? Frankie, do you want to cover that one?
Yeah, I'll cover it, and then I'll also, I think Nigel can add to that. Yes, absolutely. You can map leads from marketing through to sales easily into regions. It depends on how you want to set it up. So that can be customizable depending on your business. For example, recently we did some mapping for a client who has mapped them into state regions, and then they're dispersed by each of the state sales managers. So that's one example. Nigel, do you want to?
I mean, it could. I'll just quickly jump in there. It could be anything, any variable you can map to. So it can be demographic stuff. It can be technographic information you've got. It can be behavioural. You can assign contacts and leads based on anything, and have it display to whoever you want it to, and not display to whoever you don't want it to at whatever time. So the flexibility is totally there for you to work the way you want. There are not any restrictions at all around that. It's just how you would like to work, and then you can configure it that way.
I suppose one of the things with the lead component of all of this dynamic suite is, I suppose, the omni-channel manifestation of that. So whether they're filling out a form on my website, whether they're responding to a general email, whether they are clicking on a site or a page on our website, we can capture all of that data and create a lead record to action from there. So depending, or even going to social media and being able to, if somebody's put a post on our website, being able to capture that as a lead, that omni-channel strategy for creating and managing those leads is one of the key features of the whole dynamic suite.
I've got a final question. So, around other platform, do you need to be running other Dynamics 365 platforms or solutions to be running marketing or customer insights?
No, you do not. So customer insights is I suppose a standalone product, and we're just plugging in data sources wherever they may be. That might mean that you are using a Dynamics 365 suite. It could be that you're using other CRMs, other ERPs that have connectors in there. It could be that it's just a SQL database. So all sorts of data sources, just like you can use Power BI independent of anything. Customer insights can be agnostic from Dynamics as well. From a marketing perspective, yes, you do not need to be running Dynamics 365 for sales. You do not need to be running an ERP. You could be running marketing agnostic from any of those products. And because it has its own contact lead account, just like in our in Dynamics 365 CRM, it has those same entities built into the marketing component that simulate what you would be having in any CRM as well. So getting the data in there, if you're not using a Dynamics product, getting your contacts and leads would just be a matter of mapping in those data sources.
I'll just quickly add to that, Amanda, around customer insights is, I mean, it is a standalone product. It's not just about ingesting that data. It's about what you do with it. And obviously, Microsoft's artificial intelligence capabilities are really what it's about. It's not just about bringing data in. It's about those insights. So there is a very large artificial intelligence capability in that solution, which we really didn't get into today. But that is really where the value is, and as Nigel mentioned, it can work with any application. But that's the power of Microsoft there and then. So with that, I think that's the last question. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning. I hope you got something out of it. You took away the 3 things. You learned something today. If you have any questions, as Frankie noted, please contact us. We're happy to help with any other questions or inquiries you may have. And we hope you have a great day.
Cheers, everyone.